Color is the silent language of the soul, a dance of light that shapes our emotions and perceptions. To understand color is to tap into the essence of visual poetry, where every shade tells a story and every combination paints a world beyond words. Hello, I'm Nick Brengle, and I'm here again to be with you and talk about color, talk about Dehancer film emulation, go through a few clips of me grading in a raw format, talking a little bit through what the dynamic was on set, and talking through the decisions made here right now at the computer. But before we get to that, I want to mention just a few things because some of you are used to seeing me, some of you are very new. And if you're very new to the channel, if you just clicked on this particular video, I really appreciate you being here. Please consider subscribing, hit the like button. If you have questions or any kind of comments, you know where to put those down below. The first thing I want to mention is how much I love Dehancer. Not just the program itself, not just all the tools that it gives you, but the people behind the scenes that are actually making all of this happen are really, really good people. They're truly good human beings. And if this is a product that you decide to invest in, because I think it is somewhat of an investment, loosely, but it is. It will benefit your future filmmaking career, your color grading, your YouTube channel, whatever it is. They just know how to put things together, and they know how to communicate what it is that they want to do, how they're doing it. And I'm probably going off on a tangent here, but they are incredible human beings aside from the product that you are receiving. So customer service, all of that, they go above and beyond. They've been very good to me. And I just want to say that. And they aren't paying me to say that. They don't do that. Okay. So this is just free advertisement. Yes, if you purchase Dehancer, I get a little bit of that, whatever, of a sale. And that helps me. That helps this channel. That helps to continue this dream life that I am living. So anyway, that's one thing. The other is you might not be used to seeing me. I haven't really been around that much of late because I've just had a ton of other shit going on in my life, my personal life, my work life, and all kinds of things. So I'm okay. I'm totally fine. I just have been kind of dedicating my time to other things and figuring out what that is. So there's a bunch of things happening, like I always say. Before we jump into why most of you are here is to just see color grading and using Dehancer, I want to mention something that Dehancer has just recently put together, and it's a work in progress. On their website, they have a tab called Films and Profiles. Now, many of us know, if we've been using Dehancer, they have over 60 different film stocks that you can choose from. And so what they've done is, and I'll show you on screen here, they're putting together all of these descriptors. So you have motion picture films, negative film, positive, black and white, instant. So you can go through these. Let's just say Vision 3 250D daylight. So it's got the photo of the cartridge, which is pretty cool. I like that. That's neat. And then it kind of gives you a descriptor, emulsion, the type, balance for daylight, the ISO, what formats, all of that. And then it gives you this cool, just kind of descriptor of the film stock itself, which, yes, we can Google that, we can look up different things, but to have it all housed in this one place, and the fact that these are all film stocks that are available in Dehancer, is pretty cool. And for those of us making content or, thinking through different film stocks, this just helps to give us even more, definition of what it is that we're looking for when it comes to color grading and how we want to shoot something. Because some of us are thinking about that as we're out in the field, wherever we're at. We're thinking about how it is we want that image to look 10 miles down the road. I know a lot of us are doing it. Some of us aren't. I do it all the time. By the way, some of you know I have a bird feeder on my window out here, and there's so many birds right now. So if you're picking up birds, there's just a bunch of birds. There's woodpeckers and doves and blue jays and cardinals. A squirrel will even jump from the tree over to the window. It gets insane. I digress. So you have the film stocks descriptors you can look at here. They have the print media profiles, which right now there's nothing there, but they will. The camera log profiles are all in here. And this is really just gives you an idea of all the possibilities you have with Dehancer. So you have an iPhone. There's all the different versions from log to pro log, Arri, Blackmagic, Canon, the DJI, Fujifilm, Panasonic, Red, obviously the Sonys for days. Pretty cool. So yeah, check that out, and that's free. That's just completely free. You can learn, even if you don't have Dehancer, you can learn about Kodak Vision 3, and you can read about it. There's photo samples and all kinds of stuff. So just give that a go. Okay, so the real reason that we're here is to talk about Dehancer. Now, we'll be working in DaVinci Resolve, but Dehancer is available for Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere, iOS. It's available in an iOS app. So you've got different ways that you can access Dehancer, whether you're a photographer or a filmmaker. Either way, you can have access to all of these tools. But for today's purposes, I'm in DaVinci Resolve now 99.8% of the time. I have almost completely gone away from Final Cut Pro except for specific projects and specific types. Got a little parched there. Specific projects, specific types of edits that maybe don't need as much intensive color grading or really high quality renders. I'll still use Final Cut because it's super easy and streamlined, and I have specific projects and events kind of already categorized and set up so that I can just boom and just go. So yeah, so that's that. Okay, let's cut to the chase. That's enough of the chitter chatter, blitter blatter, blah blah, whatever. Dehancer's incredible. Let's actually show it to you. Okay, we've done this time and time again, but if you're new here, I am so happy that you're here, that you're experiencing Dehancer in its fullest form, because there's no other way. So here is a clip, okay? I do a series called The Visual Narrative where I go into artists' space, their studio, their home, and I kind of make like a little mini documentary for them. And it's a lot of fun. It's an incredible way to meet other artists, and just have great conversations and learn from the people that are really pursuing kind of the greatest aspects of humanity, in my opinion, just helping to better the world, better society, looking for ways to enrich our everyday lives. And yeah, so it's something that I'm really passionate about, is working with artists who are trying to change the world, one painting at a time, one canvas at a time, whatever analogy you need to use. So this is an incredible artist that I recently did just that with, and you can watch that. There's a link somewhere go watch it. Most of you don't. Most of you just want to see this, and that's fine. But I encourage you to go watch the visual narrative because it will just kind of bring you into a different space, into kind of private moments with artists, because it's a very candid, unconventional way of creating these little art profiles. And anyway, so here's one of the clips. Let's preface all the specs here really quickly. So Blackmagic Cinema Camera 6K, open gate, B-RAW, 3:1, highest possible codec, all of that. You're watching it in the highest possible way, 422 HQ and the full range. Okay, everything. Okay, so keep all that in mind. This was all shot with the Sigma 24-70 as well, and no lights were used. There was some ambient lighting, and I did bring the big Pavo tube that I did use on one of the talking head kind of interview parts that you'll see somewhere in here. And that was just bouncing it off the ceiling because it ended up being kind of overcast, and I couldn't rely completely on the sun because it started to rain. So let's just jump right in. We are going to make just one extra node, and we're going to drop on Dehancer, of course. And as usual, it automatically applies a film stock and the film grain, which we will disable. And we have this first node just because I do like to double check my my scopes. And what I'll do is I'll go over here and just bump up the exposure by like, I don't know, just a little bit. And then we'll go back in here. We'll select our camera, which for us is Blackmagic, but you see there's just so many options. It's unbelievable. Blackmagic, it automatically selects my camera. But if you have the Pocket 4K, the 6K, or the Pro or the G2, those are all in here as well. So look, you pop that on there, and honestly, right out of the gate, I've said this many a times, boom, you could export that out. People will love this image. They'll love the color of Dehancer's Rec 709. It looks really, really good, especially with the Blackmagic, and especially with the newer cameras, the full frame or the new Pixis. There's something about these sensors that they've changed a little bit. There used to be with the old gen color science, these green hues or these yellowish hues that would kind of poke in and out depending on the scenarios that you were shooting in. They've really done a good job of buttoning that up. And yeah, so we'll move down to film compression, which I like to kind of put on if there's any kind of window and sunlight coming in. I just like that softer look that it compresses down the highlights. And we'll go down to print, and I love my tonal contrast. For me, it's the textures that just enriches the footage, the film a lot more. And then our color density will, like if we jack it up, you look at the reds, how much more red they get. It's pretty insane. So we'll go to like right about there. And that's really just going to help us because we're going to apply a film stock, which is going to desaturate some of that. And yeah, then we're going to go back up. We're going to pick our film stock. And what do we say? Portra 400? I don't know. Let's see. Do we push it? Do we pull it? Let's pull it. Okay, yeah. So Portra 400, which looks really great. Put it next to a Portra 400 photo from an old camera. I mean, you'll see, the similarities for sure. Now let's move down to film grain, and here, well, actually, let's go 8mm and bring it down. And you can also do custom, which is really nice because you can really dial in the size, of the grain, the amount. I mean, look at this. We can do an amount and put the size pretty small. Okay, we'll just do that. Halation we'll leave alone, but you have the option to put the halation, that rem jet. Look at this. You get no rem jet. You have all these options from different types of 8mm, 16, 65, 35, all of them. Same with bloom. It's the same option. Again, we're not going to use bloom for this particular shot. Film damage, which is fun. You can get a little jitter. You can make it 8 millimeter, which is fun. And you saw some of this at the beginning with those opening clips as well. Film breathe, gate weave, and this just kind of creates this feeling that aside from all the other magic that Dehancer is doing to create this film emulation, these are just more tools to help trick, the eye who's not editing it like you and I are sitting here, to see it in a completely different way and immerse them in a completely different way than, if this was just shot straight out of camera, Rec 709, make it look like a broadcast television type show. Really boring. We're not going for that. Dehancer is definitely not for someone who just wants the cookie cutter version of color, the cookie cutter version of whatever thing they're going for. It's Dehancer's probably not for you. Dehancer is definitely for someone looking to utilize all these tools and also kind of create their own kind of workflow within Dehancer, which I usually have. I can work really quickly through this and find something that I'm completely happy with, depending on, whatever the project is, how it was lit, outside, inside, artist, corporate, doesn't matter. There's so many different options in Dehancer. Overscan we're not going to use. You saw that at the beginning. That gives you this really cool option to overlay all these different perforations like Super 35. What else do we have? Super 8, Super 16. So it just gives you all these different possibilities to make your footage stand out more, make it look even more film-like and like it was shot on a really old 8mm camera. But we'll leave that on. Vignette we're not going to use. We don't need any of this stuff. But as you can see, the false color, then this is a great tool because it helps to eliminate any highs and lows, high points and low points in your image. And you can have this on and you can go up, say for instance, let's just go all the way up to exposure and see up, it's all underexposed, it's all overexposed. So yeah, you can utilize that. I almost never. There's a clipping indicator, so that just shows. And now for us, this is all in the blacks, which is fine. But these are just great tools if you are looking for very specific type of look, and maybe you're a perfectionist and you want that balance to be just perfect. Then I would utilize these monitor options. Then you have your output, which of course is where you can, kind of ridiculous because who would want to lower the impact of what they just did? I don't know. Okay, so we'll work through this one really quickly. This, we'll just go, you'll see all of these clips. I'll go ahead and let you know, the film stocks of the different clips that you're seeing, but for time purposes, to not keep you here forever, to just give you the highlights and the brush strokes of what Dehancer could be. That's what we're doing here. So we'll go ahead and put on Dehancer, and again, we're going to move quickly through this. Blackmagic Design, it's all there. Kodak Vision, let's go with CineStill, and we're going to pull it. Okay, film compression. Okay, we're going to go ahead and use... which one should we go with? Glossy? Yeah, we'll go Kodak Endura Glossy for our print. And then we'll actually enhance the color density, and we need to bring up the exposure a little bit. But you know what? Let's mess with it here with the blacks. Okay. Film grain, that's fine. We'll even turn on halation and the bloom. No damage, we'll leave that off. We can overscan it. Again, this is just for our purposes here, for you guys to see the possibilities of what you can do. Wait, we can scale that up a little bit. Okay. no vignetting. Yeah, that's really it. Boom. Well, that's all the time we have for really. This is kind of how I like to do these. I've done so many of these color grading videos using Dehancer that every once in a while a project comes along, something happens. I just want to kind of show you a little bit of the process, how I'm using Dehancer, how simple it can be for you to also be using Dehancer. And it doesn't have to be in DaVinci. It can be in Adobe, it can be in Final Cut, it could be on your phone. So um, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. If this was your first time coming to this channel and watching one of my videos, I apologize for this long, incoherent, completely just ridiculous video where I was supposed to be color grading but ended up just doing whatever. Go watch some other content, hit subscribe. New stuff is coming here, there, whenever. And yeah, just, like I've been preaching for the longest time, is just experiment with your craft and just love what you're doing. When I sit down to color grade using Dehancer, it definitely just makes my life so much better. It does. Like, there's just so many options. It's just so intuitive and it fits right into my workflow. So yeah, that's really it. And if you want to watch this visual narrative, I'll put the link down below. It's on my YouTube channel, so maybe you'll find it. Most people don't watch them. Most people just want this kind of stuff, and they just they don't care about the real art. They just want to know how to do it. So take the time, go watch the visual narrative, go check out Dehancer. I love those people. They're incredible. Did I mention that they're really awesome. This video is going to be way too long, and if you're still here, you made it. So, okay.